The hospital room smelled faintly of antiseptic and hope. Soft beeping sounds echoed from the monitor beside the bed, marking each heartbeat like a quiet reminder that life was about to change forever. Outside, the world moved as usual, cars passing, people laughing, the sun rising, but inside that room, time had slowed down. Aisha lay on the hospital bed, her fingers gripping the sheets tightly. Sweat gathered on her forehead, and her breathing came in waves, deep, heavy, trembling. Pain surged through her body, rising and falling like a storm she couldn't escape. But in her eyes, beyond the pain, there was something stronger. Love. Beside her stood her husband, Ali. His hand was wrapped tightly around hers, as if letting go even for a second would break something fragile between them. His face showed a mixture of fear, excitement, and helplessness. "I'm here," he whispered softly, his voice trembling. "You're not alone." Aisha tried to smile, but another contraction hit her, stronger than before. She closed her eyes tightly, letting out a cry that echoed in the room. The doctor and nurse exchanged calm, practiced glances. They had seen this countless times, but every birth was different, every mother unique, every moment sacred. "Breathe, Aisha," the nurse said gently, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're doing amazing." Amazing. Aisha almost laughed at the word. Nothing about this felt amazing. It felt like her body was being torn apart, like her strength was being tested beyond limits she never knew existed. But then she thought of the tiny life inside her. The baby she had carried for 9 months. The little heartbeat she had heard for the first time and cried over. The small kicks that had woken her up at night, not with annoyance but with wonder. And suddenly, the pain had meaning. The journey before this moment. It hadn't been an easy journey. Aisha and Ali had waited years for this moment. There had been tears, silent prayers, long nights filled with uncertainty. Every time someone asked, "Any good news?" it felt like a small wound reopening. But they never gave up. And when the news finally came, when the doctor smiled and said, "Congratulations, you're expecting," their world changed instantly. Ali had cried that day. Aisha had laughed and cried at the same time. From that moment, everything became about their baby. They painted a small room in soft pastel colors. Ali assembled a tiny crib with careful hands, reading instructions twice just to make sure it was perfect. Aisha would sit nearby, watching him, smiling quietly. At night, she would talk to the baby. "Come soon," she would whisper. "We're waiting for you." Back to the present. Another contraction hit. Stronger. Sharper. Aisha screamed, her grip tightening around Ali's hand so hard that he winced, but he didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned closer. "You're the strongest person I know," he said. The doctor checked her condition and nodded. "It's time." The room shifted instantly. There was movement, urgency, but not panic. The kind of controlled chaos that only comes with experience. "Aisha, listen to me," the doctor said firmly but kindly. "With the next contraction, I need you to push." Push. Such a simple word, but it carried the weight of everything. Aisha nodded weakly, tears rolling down her cheeks. She was scared, terrified, but she was also ready. The moment of truth. The next contraction came like a wave crashing against rocks. "Push," the doctor instructed. Aisha screamed as she pushed with all her strength. Every muscle in her body strained. Her vision blurred, her world narrowed to one single moment. Ali kept whispering, "You can do this, you can do this." Again, push, again, and again. Time lost meaning. Seconds felt like hours. Pain became everything. But then, a sound, a cry, soft at first, then louder, stronger, alive. The first cry. The room fell silent for a split second. And then, a baby's cry filled the air. A sound so pure, so powerful, that it cut through everything. Aisha's body went still. Her eyes opened slowly. Is that?" she whispered. The nurse smiled, holding up the tiny, crying baby. "Yes, your baby." Ali broke down completely. Tears streamed down his face as he laughed, unable to speak. Aisha stared, her heart pounding, not from pain anymore, but from something overwhelming. Love. They placed the baby gently in her arms. So small, so warm, so real. Aisha looked at the tiny face, the closed eyes, the little hands moving weakly. And in that moment, everything changed. A mother is born. They say a baby is born that day. But something else is born too. A mother. Aisha held her baby close, tears falling onto the tiny forehead. "My child," she whispered softly. All the pain she had just gone through, every second of it, felt worth it. Not erased, but transformed. Because in her arms was a life. A piece of her. A miracle. Ali's promise. Ali leaned closer, placing his hand gently on the baby's head. I promise, he said quietly, his voice breaking, I will protect you. Always. Aisha looked at him, her eyes filled with love, not just for her child, but for the man who had stood beside her through everything. Their journey wasn't over. In many ways, it had just begun. The silent bond. As the room slowly calmed, the noise fading into soft whispers and gentle movements, Aisha focused only on her baby. The baby had stopped crying now, resting peacefully against her chest. Their breathing synced, their hearts connected. There were no words, no explanations needed, just a bond, unbreakable, eternal. Mother love. Mother love is not just a feeling. It is sacrifice. It is strength. It is choosing to endure unimaginable pain for someone you haven't even met yet, and loving them more than your own life the moment you do. It is waking up at night without complaint. It is worrying without reason. It is loving without limits. Aisha didn't feel like a hero. She didn't feel extraordinary. But in that moment, holding her child for the first time, she became everything. A new beginning. Outside, the sun had risen fully now. A new day. A new life. Inside that hospital room, a small family had been born. Not perfect. Not without challenges ahead, but filled with something powerful enough to face anything. Love. Mother love.